A fundraiser on wheels for the Trails and Open Space Coalition in Colorado Springs went off without a hitch very early this morning under the cover of darkness. More than 1,200 people showed up for the 15th annual Starlight Spectacular bike ride. 11 News photographer H Egbert takes us along for the ride.
This is the 15th annual Starlight Spectacular. It's just a community event. As you were here, you experienced it. It's magic. People just have a great time. It's community getting together to celebrate cycling and to also benefit trails and open space. It is a magical event. Again, I got to experience it today, so that was really exciting. But just to see the camaraderie, the energy, you know, people had a great time.
The next entry, the blue short ribbons is going to... Now we've got the margarita heads.
We had a pre-registration count of approximately 1,100, and we had a registration on site of just over 200 and something.
Yeah, it's a great ride. The weather turned out much better than we expected with all the rain today, so lots of riders turned out for it. It's great.
The Starlight Spectacular helps the Trails and Open Space Coalition advocate for cyclists, like helping with the development of additional bike lanes and trails in Colorado Springs.
Today, more soldiers at Fort Carson getting ready now to deploy to Iraq. That'll happen next spring.
Today, soldiers with the 3rd BCT 4th ID got a taste of the real thing. Photojournalist H Egbert takes us there.
Today we're practicing or preparing to deploy again to Iraq. We're gonna deploy this time as a security force assistance brigade, working with the Iraqi military, security forces, as well as Iraqi government to secure the populace in various means wherever we go in Iraq.
يلي انه يمكن احتمال يصير تضرر بالمدرسه من الشعلة ولا من مناطق خارجيه؟ لا الشعلة لمنطقتنا هون الشعلة نقدرش نجيب طالبات. She's saying that we barely can cover the students.
We've got role players that are actual Iraqis, at least Arabic speakers. They're able to portray civic leaders as well as the populace in the town. This is another great opportunity for us to train some of the best soldiers that we have in the United States Army to prepare to go to Iraq and hopefully complete what our nation is intended to do there.
Through this, they learn the culture, they learn how people react emotionally to things that happens in town here.
We certainly wish them the best when they go, and some of the soldiers who were part of today's exercise have been to Iraq several times and just came back last February. They'll deploy again next March. We'll be right back.
Tonight we're in the process of fighting a fully involved house fire on Milam Road. The call came in slightly after 9 o'clock this evening. The first report came in as the house is on fire, but everyone's out. This is a full response on all the fire departments on the north end of the county tonight. Black Forest is getting help tonight from Falcon Fire Department, Tri-Lakes Monument, Larkspur, Westcott, also from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and the rehab service of the Pikes Peak Firefighters Association. This house is just a little over 2 miles from Black Forest Station 1, so we were able to get units out here very quickly. When the first engine was approaching this scene, before they had even reached the scene, they did radio ahead to say that they could see flames and smoke through the trees before they had even arrived. When the first unit arrived on this scene, they reported heavy smoke and flames visible from the backside of the house. All of our mutual aid partners arrived very quickly tonight. We have automatic aid agreements with all of the fire departments here that are our neighbors. So all of them receive the dispatch at the same time that Black Forest does. We don't have to call for aid specifically. They're already coming as soon as we get the word. So that helps our response time considerably. It only took a few minutes to get our tankers, our attenders here on scene to this fire and get water supply established. Out here in northern part of El Paso County, where we do not have fire hydrants, we practice the skills of hauling water to a fire scene. Bringing water and setting up rural water supply is one of the most important things we do, and we emphasize training on those skills. So everybody here, all of our neighboring fire departments, also have the same procedures for setting up this sort of water supply. This is standard procedure for us.
The skies are their playground. Each one as unique as the stars in the sky. The massive launches and colors draw thousands to the Colorado Balloon Classic every year in Colorado Springs. Behind each hot air balloon is a team of professionals who love to dazzle kids of all ages. Photojournalist H Egbert went behind the scenes to show us why the Acme publishing team is all about the red, white, and blue.
Never saw a balloon in my life. I was fixed wing pilot, about 3,300, 3,500 hours fixed wing, multi-engine, instrument rated, and love to fly. I've always had a red, white, and blue balloon, always had a red, white, and blue, and when I built this one, we had just flew NBC Sports for the Olympics in '96, and I wanted something, I wanted the flag, so I designed this one, and I still think it's the prettiest balloon out here, just because I like the American flag. It's always been my theme, and the red, white, and blue, and this one. This balloon's 10 years old, and you would not know how. Look at the white, how white and blue, and so it's a beauty balloon.
He loves kids. He loves them, and they love him. I started 4 years before Tim did. I was on a crew, and then when we got married in the balloon, there's the other 21.
She goes, "Do you want to get married?" And I go, "Well, okay, if you want to." Like and then, yeah, she proposed. Yeah, you proposed. You said, "Would you?"
No, he said, "Would you?"
Ballooning is more fun than a barrel of monkeys, man. You know, every time I get in the basket and start inflating, it's like the first time I got out there. It's still to me, and I can be driving along, see a balloon, and go, "Oh wow," because they're so pretty.
And they are a spectacle whether you go for the daytime launches or the nighttime balloon glow.
From Southern Colorado's #1 news channel, this is 11 News Special Edition.
Seems like forever.
3 massive fires keep Springs firefighters running from blaze to blaze with only a few hours in between to regroup. They are being called heroes for saving lives and protecting our community. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of 11 News. I'm Mackenzie Martin.
And I am David Nankara. The most recent of these fires broke out overnight when most were sleeping and vulnerable inside a Colorado Springs apartment complex near Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard.
11 News was first on the scene as people started evacuating and running for safety from the 2-alarm fire. Mary Beth Brush joins us live now. And Mary Beth, several families are now displaced.
Yes, Mackenzie and Dave, and almost a dozen people here at the Cobblestone Ridge apartment complex are now left homeless tonight. This after that early morning fire gutted several apartments here. The glow of orange and red is a familiar sight for Colorado Springs firefighters. This apartment fire is the 3rd blaze in less than 24 hours to call out multiple crews.
4 engines, 2 trucks, a heavy rescue, and a hazardous materials team and a rehab unit.
11 News was on scene as the first engines arrived.
Had a lot of fire coming from the top floor, going up into what looked like the roof at the time.
For Jacob Leyva, it was a quiet night.
Everything was fine, fell asleep.
Until a few hours later.
Got up and looked out the window. That whole balcony right there is just engulfed in flames. Flames rising off the roof, probably about 20 feet.
He noticed the chaos as those who lived here ran for safety.
And there's people running around trying to get people out of the apartment.
The good news? No one was hurt.
Just glad everybody's all right.
As fire crews got control, they even rescued a dog trapped inside. The cause of this fire is still under investigation, and fire crews do urge all of us to remember to check our smoke detector batteries and have an escape plan ready to go just in case something should happen. David Mackenzie, back to you.
All right, Mary Beth Brush, live for us tonight in Colorado Springs. Thanks very much.
Well, the Red Cross is helping those displaced families. Tonight at 10, More on what they do when people need them most.
Take a look now at weather with forecaster Sarah Swabian. Really, the past couple of days we've been talking about how the dry conditions and the winds not necessarily helping firefighters outside.
Not at all, and I'm sure.
KKTV 11 News is on your side with 11 minutes of non-stop news and your no-wait weather.
The whole balcony right there is just engulfed in flames. Flames rising off the roof, probably about 20 feet.
The destructive power of fire out of control on display in Colorado Springs. In the past 24 hours, some homes are gone, and emergency responders say these pictures should be a reminder to all of us. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Nancaro.
And I'm Mackenzie Martin. Several major fires have kept Colorado Springs firefighters very busy this weekend.
A grass fire closed down a major street in Colorado Springs near Coronado High School. The second one just a few hours later near the Stratton Forest Heights neighborhood.
The most recent, an apartment complex fire that destroyed several units, and tonight about a dozen people are homeless. KKTV 11 News reporter Rick Montanez is live. And Rick, what can you tell us from the scene there?
Well, Mackenzie, the Red Cross is helping out with these families, but the resources are only going to last for the first 3 days or so. And because of those limited resources, the Red Cross urges all of us to be more prepared in case of a major disaster like the one that happened at this apartment early this morning. Just after 2 this morning, firefighters are called to the cobblestone apartments where bright orange flames light up the dark night sky.
And there's people running around trying to get people out of the apartment.
A crowd of people watch as their apartment complex is charred by heat and flames. The fire destroys several units, leaving some without a home. Thankfully, they're being helped by the Red Cross. Jennifer Mariano at the Red Cross says they are doing what they can to help those who lost their homes.
It's particularly based on what the individual's needs are.
Meaning, at a disaster like this, Red Cross workers will look at each family or individual situation to determine how much money to offer. The average family receives about $1,000 to help in the first 72 hours after a disaster. The money is used to buy food, clothes, or a room to stay in. Marion also ran command for the Red Cross at the Castle West fire in 2007. She says the biggest lesson she learned is to protect your important documents.
The ability to be able to replace your personal documents is very difficult.
For some victims at Castle West, it took up to 6 weeks to get IDs and credit cards replaced.
It's so crucial to get your important papers and your important credit cards and whatnot copied and stored someplace else. A little ounce of prevention goes a long, long ways.
And Mariano also says another way we can be prepared is by coming up with an escape route for our families or our roommates. And Dave McKenzie, she also says that now is the perfect time to be checking the batteries in our smoke detectors.
Very good advice. Rick Montanez, live for us tonight in Colorado Springs. Thanks very much. The cause of this fire is still under investigation tonight.
.com and click on Community.
Sturdy shoes and work gloves, all you need to make a difference in southern Colorado. Soldiers at Fort Carson filled the ranks of millions nationwide, pulling together to do some cleaning up today. Their target? Sprucing up Turkey Creek Recreation Area. KKTV 11 News photojournalist H Egbert shows us how this group of volunteers spent their Saturday.
Spencer Penrose, who brought up the Broadmoor. This was his summer house, and he utilized this as a recreational area. It was a working ranch when he purchased it, and he managed to develop it. When the military took it over, we tried to keep that feel. Make a Difference Day is about beautifying Turkey Creek Ranch to bring it up to par. We've had a lot of snowstorms in the last couple days, and it's knocked down a lot of trees, tree limbs, brushes, and whatnot. It's the manpower I don't have.
The tree right there.
So this is a great example of not only the community, but the soldiers doing great things for our community and for our soldiers, but also jointly in the military for having the Air Force come down here and help sponsor this.
This is how dedicated we are.
This is just a great event because you see the enthusiasm here. You see the Air Force cadets. You see family members, community members spending time to do something good, and they get a little food to start, and it looks like everyone's happy, having fun, making the difference.
A tattoo artist in Denver is hoping to break a record while...
Welcome back. It is an exhausting ride up nearly 8,000 feet in elevation. The second annual Assault on the Peak up the Pikes Peak Highway. As News 5's John Romero shows us, this race means a lot more to the athletes than just competition.
Hundreds take to Pikes Peak Sunday morning for what many cyclists call the ultimate test.
This is just very unrelenting and 6 hours of pain.
The second annual Assault on the Peak takes these gutsy cyclists nearly 25 miles up Pikes Peak. That's a vertical climb of nearly 8,000 feet. Wisconsin native Adam Zabler was understandably nervous before he hit the peak.
Yeah, I did Mount Evans last year just for fun. Didn't really know what I was getting into and don't know if I am today. So
for others, like retired pro cyclist Tracy Brown, it's more of a bucket list type of thing.
It's kind of cool to check it off your list. They only let you do it once a year.
But perhaps the most courageous rider this year is Drew Wills. Paralyzed 6 years ago, he now rides a hand bike. The work is much harder than riding a conventional one.
Maybe it's just the idea of not wanting to fail, and if you're able to complete those things, then I think in the end you feel like you've got a little more confidence, and that carries over to all sorts of things in life.
For him and others, the race transcends the course and becomes a metaphor for life.
I think you also find yourself out there. When you push yourself to your limits, you make, I think you open up some doors and find out some things about yourself.
John Romero.
Maybe we're born to run.
News 5.
Those are some incredible athletes. That race serves a good cause, too. Some of the proceeds go towards the Therapeutic Recreation Community Partners. They provide recreational and therapeutic opportunities for the disabled. Jordan.